3, 2, 1. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another exciting film journey here on Delusions of Grandeur. I am one of your hosts, but today we are going to be going on about a choice that was brought to us by our good friend Kroll here. So, Kroll, why don't you tell us what film you subjected to us to this week?
Well, it's actually a documentary. It's called The Secret. So today we're going to do things a little different. Usually go step by step through a movie and everything. But since this is a documentary, it's all on the basis of one thing. We'll just discuss what we watched and our thoughts on that and our own personal philosophies and go from there. One moment, I'm trying to actually pull up IMDb on The Secret. I popped in The Secret 2006, and I'm getting a lot of things and not the correct things. Okay, here we go. So, interviews with self-proclaimed authors, philosophers, scientists with in-depth discussions of visualizing your goals. The audience is shown how they can learn and use the secret in their everyday lives. This was based on a book that was written by Rhonda Byrne, and some of the guest people. This was hosted by Bob Proctor, and some of the guest hosts are John Azaraf, and trying to tell you the rest, but IMDb is not being cooperative today. It does talk about Plato, Newton, Carnegie, Beethoven, Shakespeare, Einstein. Lincoln is shown in a picture. These are all people that not only knew the secret but lived by the secret, and some of them did try to teach others, such as Einstein and Carnegie, for a fact, and Plato. Not sure about Newton, possibly. I just don't really know a lot about him personally. So yeah, I don't see a list of the people in this. Oh, hey, here we go. Stars Bob Proctor, Joe Vitale, John Azaraf, Laurel Langmeister, Marie Diamond, Michael Beckwith, the famous Jack Canfield, Bob Doyle, Mike Dooley, Lisa Nichols, Bill Harris, John Hagelin, John DeMartini, and a hackle of others.
Sorry for interrupting, but I would like to ask, now when you mention these historical persons who supposedly knew the secret, one question that has just come to my mind is if Abraham Lincoln knew the secret and was good at using it, how did he get himself killed?
Because someone had a bigger intention to kill him than he had to live. It's all energy.
Oh, and Bob Proctor was not a producer.
I didn't say he was a producer.
You did at the beginning.
No, I did not.
Okay.
I said he was the narrator. And he narrated it. Did he not?
Oh, he was one of the more prominent speakers in the movie.
Because he was a narrator, and it's a documentary. Okay. So now that we've finished explaining what it is, we can go into first impressions. Go ahead, Boris. Tell me your first impression of it.
I somehow knew I would be asked to go first. This
you were the first to talk, so.
Sorry. Well, this was not the first time I watched this movie, actually. The first time was, I'm not sure when, sometime I think shortly after it came out, but At that time, I think I didn't really watch it completely, but I heard people talking about it, and I knew basically what it was about. Then in 2014 or so, I watched the whole thing from the beginning to the end, although it was a Croatian dub of it, so it's possible that some things got lost in translation. This was the first time I watched the original English version. And my impressions, when I watched it earlier, when I paid proper attention to it, actually, which was in 2014, I kind of had issues with it when I heard the whole story the first time, which was, like I said, shortly after it came out. I wasn't really paying it that much thought because at that time I was pretty much mentally stable, didn't have any severe issues to resolve, and so on. So that story didn't feel too relevant to me at the time. But later on, when I did pay more attention to it, it had a lot to do with a certain friend of mine who had a very bad experience with it. What happened here was the guy was suffering from severe anxiety. He had, in fact, okay, this is going to be a long story. Should I maybe save that for later, or should I say it all
Yeah,
now?
I'd say save it for later. Let's just get done with the first impressions, and we'll definitely circle around to that.
Okay, well, like I said, the very first time I heard it, I didn't really pay it that much thought. When I did pay it more thought in 2014, I kind of had mixed feelings about it because a lot of what it says is pseudoscience, and I did a little bit of research on it and found out that physicists who actually really know physics have said that the stuff they say there about quantum physics and so on are scientifically inaccurate.
And they're wrong. And they're completely wrong. They're just trying to keep you. They're either ignorant, or they're trying to keep you from the knowledge. Everything science. There's so many things in science where they'll say 100% this is the truth, and then you'll find 10 people say the exact opposite, and they'll swear that they're telling the truth. You know, how can two things be true? Well, two things can be true because it's true for yourself. Whether it's true for others or not, well, that depends on them.
Okay, that may be true, but another big issue with it is that the way it is,
And I'll clarify, it's not pseudoscience, it's science.
They call it quantum physics, at least in the
yes
documentary.
And this has been around for thousands of years. It's not anything new. It's just it's now being spread to everybody because of the internet. We never had a way to spread things like this before. Yes, there was newspapers and TV and stuff like that, but nothing has spread faster than the internet, for good or ill.
Okay, but some other big issues I had with it was, for example, according to this story, it would mean that a murder victim attracted the murderer into their lives, and not only that, but the grieving family and friends of that person, like they all really so negative to what?
You're focusing on the negative.
Well, that's what it implies. I cannot ignore what it implies. Or what about 9/11?
That's what it implies to you. I didn't find that at all in watching this. Not one of those thoughts ever popped into my mind at all. They popped into your mind because that's what you're thinking of because you're focusing on the negative. If you focus on the negative, that's what you're going to get, and that's what you're going to think about, and that's what's going to happen. Okay,
Uh,
I didn't have any of these thoughts. I'm not saying your thoughts are wrong. I'm saying they're your thoughts. So therefore, what you're saying is right because that's what you're thinking of it, and that's what you're getting out of it.
okay, well, according to this story, how would you explain 9/11, for example?
I've already told you the energy of the people that created it were more powerful than the people on board were not thinking about living. They were maybe thinking about their destination. Who knows what they were thinking about? Okay, but they weren't they weren't focused on getting to their destination enough to stop the people that were focused on the they weren't focused on they were focused on their task. They were going to kill these people and nothing was going to stop them, and that happened. So yes, all those people weren't thinking they wanted to die or anything, but the people that wanted to take the plane down and kill them, their intentions were more powerful, you know unfortunately.
Uh,
you know
o- okay, well, another thing, this movie says that health issues are all a result of our own
Hey,
mentality,
Boris,
right?
Boris, can we move on to first impressions and then we'll talk about everything else because this is
Well,
this is
this
all
is.
talking about the movie. So let's just get
Uh,
through the first impression.
Yeah, well, this what I'm talking about was related to my first impressions when I saw the movie before. But okay, now I had kind of had issues with it the first time I saw it. But now when I watched it again, I uh, to an extent I understood it better. Like I think the essential message behind it may be true that if we are more positive, we are more prone to noticing opportunities and good things. And if we are negative, we are more prone to focusing on obstacles, which is going to make things more difficult for us. That much is true, but that's plain psychology. That doesn't really require the universe, the law of attraction, and things like that to explain
It
that.
exactly is that. It exactly is that. It is simple. It is simple. And what do you call the secret? Whether you call it the universe, whether you call it God, whatever you call it, it doesn't matter. It's just the truth. And people just people still don't understand it because we're told the opposite all our lives. Oh, money doesn't grow on trees. Oh, only evil people have money. This and that, like all this stuff we get told throughout our whole entire life. We believe because we're told it our whole life because our parents were told it their lives and their parents were told it and their parents. And that's why it becomes a reality. That's because only 1% of the world had been rich, and I don't even think it's 1% anymore. I think it's a lot more than that now. Because if you look at the proven fact, there's more millionaires now created every single day, because people are being exposed to this because of the internet, and people are actually realizing that they don't have to be stuck with their life. That things can change. That all they have to do is think differently. And that's the hardest thing to do is to think. You say it may sound easy, just think differently. And it's not easy. It's not easy at all. But that's what needs to get done.
Um, yeah, one thing I did understand better this time is the part that speaks about emotional guidance, which means that if if some way of thinking isn't making us feel good, then it's not a good way of thinking, and we need to find some other way that will work better for
No,
our.
no. It's all about, okay, say you wanted a brand new car, right? Okay.
Yes.
Say you wanted a Ferrari, for instance, okay, or Porsche or whatever. I don't know what you want, but say you wanted that, right? Why do you want that? okay, you could say, oh, because I want to go from point A to point B, blah, blah, blah. Any car would do that. But why do you want that particular car? Okay. And the reason is because it'll make you happy, or it'll make you excited, or it'll give you a certain feeling that you want. Okay. So all I'm saying is you can have the feeling, okay, and have those feelings before you even own it. Okay. Have that feeling, like they were showing in the video. That guy was like on his chair, and he was like in his imagination driving that vehicle. He even, shut put the security on, beep beep, when he went to bed and all that. It was all because he was visualizing owning that car because he wanted that feeling. So he felt that feeling, and the more you feel the feelings that you have, the more you get the things you want because you're attracting it. Okay, like I've been saying, I'm a millionaire. I just need the money to transfer over. Okay, I'm attracting that. I'm attracting that. Does it happen overnight? No, but and it isn't just about visualizing and feeling the emotions. That, yes, that's part of it. But then you have to take actions. Okay, and even if the actions, maybe you don't know exactly what you need to do. Like Jack Canfield was saying, he had a book he'd already written. Okay, but he had not done anything with it until he got the epiphany in the shower, and then he saw the Inquirer, and then he did a speech, and then a lady came up to him and said, hey, I work with the Inquirer, and he sold his book and made millions of dollars. I mean, at first he didn't make millions, but now we know, if you look up Jack Canfield, he's made millions. He's a millionaire. He's a multi-millionaire. Okay, I don't know if you know who Jack Canfield is, but he's definitely in my list of
Some of those people from this movie, I don't know otherwise.
Canfield is the author of Chicken Soup for the Soul. He is a phenomenal book writer. That I would say that a lot of his books were anthologies of various Christian stories that were. Some of them were not entirely written by him, but obviously he collected various stories over time, and these have been very good self-help books for people with Christianity and of all religions.
I want to read them, and I don't care too much sense about reading anything.
I'm not knocking the man or his profession or his ideas and how he came about in this
Let's
documentary.
remove religion out of it.
But he is kind of known as a Christian writer. Okay, so
well, we don't. That doesn't need to be said. And okay, I mean, so wasn't Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe yet? I loved it. Still had Christian undertones, but so didn't it have pagan undertones, and because Christianity took everything from paganism. So there you go. Anyways, let's not talk about religion. Boris, are we done with the first impression yet?
I think so.
Awesome, Dave. You're typing, Boris. Dave? Dave?
okay. Well, this was the first time. Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
This was the first time for me. I have seen the DVD on DVD shelves, but I've never actually taken and bought it because it never really interested me. And I'm glad that you brought it forward so that I can see what it's about. And I know a lot more about its history and whatnot before I even got into it. Okay. It was a documentary that came out around the New Age concepts that were coming out at the time. I mean, there were various.
Okay, I want to stop you there for 1 second. You say New Age, yet it said right in the documentary this has been around for 2,000 years. How can it be New Age if it's
so claimed?
What?
So claimed.
What?
So claim.
Because they have. Go back in history and look at Plato and look at Newton and look at all these people in history. They've talked about this. Einstein talked about it.
So it's
But
us.
but where can we actually read Einstein talking about it?
The internet? Have you heard of it?
They put
Information's
various quotes from different historical people throughout the film to make claim that they knew the secret. But that being said, this is what I got from the documentary.
Finally.
This is what I got from the documentary. That the whole world can be handed to you on a platter if you don't think negative thoughts at all. And then money will happen for you instantly. It may not take today, tonight, tomorrow.
Well, it's not instantly.
It may happen in a
That
month.
is wrong. It's not instant.
Or it may happen years from now. But as long as you think positively, shit will happen to you.
That's very positive of you to say.
That is what I got from this.
I'm sorry, Dave. Maybe you should watch it again.
I have watched it.
I said, maybe you should watch it again.
I don't need to watch it again. It is a long infomercial that even the Channel 9 that is okay. It originally was an American-Australian production. The Channel 9 people that were going to put it on TV actually didn't, because they put it on like one time, and because it failed miserably to the mass public, it never was broadcast.
And the mass public is poor.
And then
coincidence?
This
coincidence?
DVD,
coincidence?
This DVD that then was given to a ton of businesses in their retreats and
successful people,
office people, so that if you think positively, you will have success. And the book and the movie have made money. And one of the things that I give it credit for is that it does work for some people.
Works for anybody that believes it.
Now,
yep.
One of the movements that came out around the same time, at least
this isn't a movement. This is the way life is. This is the way the universe works. Whether you believe it or not, you don't believe it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't work that
around
way.
that time, same time the secret came out. It was the power of now. Now, in that thought process, the whole concept was that people's emotional problems are rooted in their identification with their mind.
Exactly, it's the same thing. You're saying the same thing.
Individuals should be aware of their present moment instead of losing themselves in worry and anxiety about the future.
Exactly.
That was the whole concept of the power of now.
They're the same thing. You're talking about the same thing. Both things talk about the exact same thing.
This secret is all based on quantum physics, but they don't talk about how. Ever. They
don't need to.
How it's involved in science. They just expect you to trust them and have blind faith that this will happen.
No.
That as long as you push all the negativity in your mind, in your mind, and not think about that the world will be given to you on a silver platter, and okay, yeah, it may take a little time, but it'll happen to you no matter what, as long as you think positively. Here's your gold, here's your silver, boom, success. That's what they panhandle to you. And let me tell you something. People
and this is coming from someone very poor, guys.
people are less likely to avoid simple mistakes and less likely to prepare for unexpected circumstances because it tells them not to think about the possible unexpected circumstances at all.
No, it doesn't. Nope.
Yes, it does.
Nope.
Which is just the same as those parents that killed their kids because they wouldn't
Holy shit!
them to the doctor.
Dickballs, can you please take that back? Don't be a dumbass.
Rather
don't be a dumbass to say that. Okay? That is complete bullshit. Complete bullshit.
And
not even fucking close.
To the doctor when they were really sick because they refused.
And he keeps going. Disclaimer, folks. This is not the. Not everybody believes what Dave's sprouting out right here. So please don't think that we all believe this crap, and it's complete bullshit.
Holy
Disclaimer.
shit.
Dave, you're being a complete ass right now.
I am not being a complete
You are being a complete ass right now.
I'm not being a complete
You're being a complete ass right now.
I'm not.
Sorry,
You're saying trying and thinking positive is like people killing their kids.
Crow, I'm sorry, but why are you getting so worked up about someone having
kill their fucking kids?
Well, I'm telling you, if they followed the secret, that's what they would do.
Fucking you.
Dave, stop talking about that right now. I'm just leaving. I'm being dead serious.
Okay.
If you want to believe that, fine. Don't put that shit out in the world. Don't tell viewers that are watching this.
Jeez. Okay, Crow, please don't take me wrong, but if Dave has a different view from yours,
care about views. They're talking about people killing their kids. Okay? I'm not talking about this anymore. Drop it.
You brought the film to the table.
I did, but I didn't know that someone's gonna bring this to the table. Such fucking negativity. You're talking about positivity not working for you. Look how fucking negative you are. You're fucking talking about parents killing their kids and saying it's the same thing.
It is.
It isn't.
It's exactly
fucking close.
Dave wasn't talking about
fucking close.
Dave wasn't talking about murder. He was talking about the cases when parents don't take their children to
they
a
were
doctor.
Murdering their kids because they didn't bring them to the doctor. They didn't go to get their help. Okay, so it was murder, in which again we're still talking about it. This has nothing to do with the movie we watched. Nothing.
I'm done with my first impressions. I'm sorry. I do believe that this concept can work for people.
It can work for anyone that isn't as negative as you.
It cannot work for everyone, though.
No, because you're too negative.
See,
I thought this was going to motivate and inspire people, and instead you twisted this completely to the opposite. I don't even want to finish. I'm so upset right now.
Well, I'm sorry if the truth hurts.
It's not the fucking truth. It's your truth, and your truth isn't even close to the real truth. No, it's not the truth, Dave. It is not the truth. It is your truth, what you believe, because you're stuck in your fucking negativity and you don't want to get out of it. You want to be under your father's thumb. You want to be under your parents' thumb. You want people to tell you what to do, and you say you don't.
And you want the whole world to be, and you want the whole world to be given to you on a platter. I get it. You want
the world is. I want to have what I want, and I want everybody to be happy, whether it's whatever their wish is to be happy. Not everybody wants the same fucking thing, Dave. If you watched the video, you would have seen that. Not everyone can happiness. That's all it's saying. It's about everybody having happiness, whether your happiness is driving a BMW or your happiness is sitting around with your kids in your living room. That is what it's telling you can have, and that is the truth. Not everybody wants the same thing, Dave.
We haven't gotten to Tammy's opinion. So
yeah, I know, because everybody wants to go off the topic and talk about a million different things that doesn't have to do with their first impression.
It has everything to do.
No, it doesn't.
See,
No,
you're
it
not
doesn't.
listening.
It's your own personal
You
opinion
have to,
about what
you
you
have
just
to
watched,
be
which is
open to
completely
other people's
the worst
opinions.
fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
You
or
have to
heard.
be open to other people's opinions, no matter how bad.
It's not an opinion.
No matter how much you want to believe.
Of course, I'm open to other people's opinions, but you're completely twisting what you watched.
I didn't twist anything.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Okay, show me where I twisted it.
Not once have they ever said, "Don't bring your kids to the fucking doctors." And how could you compare the two things? Okay, how do people have cancer? How do people have cancer and things like that and beat it because by thinking positively? How do they do that? Even doctors are surprised about it. How do they do that? And you think that are they lying? Because I know plenty of people that have said the same fucking thing. Okay, because if you believe it to be true, it doesn't matter if it's in your body. Just like those placebo things work. Why do they work? Because it's in your mind that you believe that is true. What you believe can make it happen, okay? But you gotta fully believe in it.
Okay. You're telling me that basically, if someone told me to jump off a cliff, to go do it.
How did I tell you that?
Because you're telling me
those words that I didn't tell you any of that.
You're telling me.
No, I did not.
Positive.
No, I did not.
Keep the negativity out and not think of the.
Now, if you decided that you were going to jump off a cliff and live, okay, and you 100% believe that, I believe you would, okay? But if you had any doubt at all, you're going to die because you can't have any doubt with that. Plain and simple. And you don't understand this because you've never truly believed in anything in your life.
I believed in a lot more than
you. Obviously not. Obviously not, Dave.
I just can't fully get behind.
Hey, I'm sorry. Can I say something? I would like to ask you, Crow, why do you have to get so upset about this? Okay, you have your view, Dave has his views. Why can't you present your arguments without getting so emotional about it?
Because people are emotional, and when you bring in killing their own kids, it makes me upset because I love children, okay? I'm sorry. I love children. I'm sorry. I want people to be motivated and inspired. I don't want people to be negative all the time. And I don't want people to bring in this kind of negative. We may have a small channel, but we still have people that watch, okay? And I don't want them being negative thing. Oh my God, this is the worst thing in the world when it's a motivational and it's inspirational. And whether Dave believes in it or not, that's fine. He doesn't need to believe in it. But to compare it to something so horrendous, it's like this douchebag that compared Trump to Hitler, you know? Again, same fucking thing. Comparing apples and oranges completely and it's not, you know? Whether you like Trump or not, and you're nothing closer to Hitler. But, you know, people compared it, okay? That's what I'm getting upset about. The comparison to murderers, okay? And I've already told you that, Philip. I'm upset because he's comparing it to murderers. And he doesn't have to agree with me.
And the secret,
he doesn't have to agree with the movie.
There are some very gullible people out there. Very gullible. And if
yes, there are a lot of gullible people like you. Yes, there's a lot of gullible people like you that believe in this, that believe this crap that
you
got to be negative
blindly jump into a concept and fully believe it to the extent that it's telling you to. And of course,
if anybody really wants to know about this, I have a free 7-day manifesting course from Laura St. John, world known, works for the NFL and Google and celebrities and everything. I can send you it. It's the same thing as the secret here for all those people that know that this is the truth.
Kroll, I would like to say the impression I'm getting here is, and I would like to apologize in advance if I'm wrong. So please don't get upset at me if I came
as long as you don't compare this to people, killing their kids, I won't.
No, I won't compare it to murders or anything like that, but the impression I'm getting here is that on the conscious level, you fully believe in the secret, but I think you are reacting so emotionally to it because you are afraid of a different opinion crushing your
Wow.
beliefs.
No, Boris, you're completely
Yes,
wrong. And I've already told you
yes,
why I was fucking upset.
Boris, you
Because he
actually
compared it to
hit it
murder.
exactly on the nose.
He compared. I'm sorry, guys. I'm done.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
Okay, Tammy, what were your thoughts and opinions?
Well, it was my first time watching it. How do I put this? I don't believe in everything about it. No, okay, because um, my great grandmother was a very, very devout Christian, and she was a very positive person. And if when she got sick with cancer, you don't think that her and my great grandpa and everybody else in the family thought positive and tried to think positive and tried to do everything positive for her. And you know what? It didn't. She didn't get cured. You know, and
Well, yes, to be honest, I can fully understand why an experience like that can make you find a story like this upsetting.
so I mean, I in some things I can see. Okay, if you totally completely think negative all the time and nothing makes you happy and you go through life that way, I can see where nothing positive or good will happen to you in your life. Okay? I get that concept of it, but if you sit here and think if I sat here and think and thought every single day I'm going to get a brand new vehicle. I want a Blazer. I'm going to get a Blazer. I'm going to get a Blazer. I'm going to get a Blazer. I really do not believe if I thought about having this Blazer every single day that I would get the Blazer. Okay? I believe that I have to do things in order to be able to get the Blazer. And okay, maybe think positive that if I accomplish these things, I could get it. But I'm not going to get it just by thinking every single day and trying to think positive that I'm going to get it. It's not going to happen that way. Just like, like I brought up to David. Do you think
Do
these
you think I?
children and adults in like Ethiopia and all these countries that are starving and live in squalor, do you think if they thought positive every day do you think that's going to change for them? Really? If
Do
they
you
had a
think
positive
that
attitude
me
every
bringing
single
up
day, do you think that's going to change for them?
do you think that me bringing up those things were wrong, Tammy?
Uh, well, it's and part of the thing it was suggesting that you don't need if you think positive you don't need medicine, but it's it went back and forth. In one moment the guy said if you have like certain diseases and stuff, you can see where you may want to fall back on medicine or take medicine. But then they turned around and said if you think positively, you can still get through it without it. So I mean, it,
Uh,
it both ways in the thing, you know.
yeah, this movie is like a collection of individual testimonials, and they kind of go along with each other, but not completely. Some of them do, to an extent, contradict each other.
It's just, I mean,
I
it's a nice thought, it's a nice concept, but there's I think it's making I think it's giving people too much false hope. Like,
agree.
I understand
Uh,
that I understand the concept of trying to think positive, trying to do positive, trying to feel positive, trying to feel good. And if you do all of this, it could um make your life better, but it's not going to magically give you it's not going to magically give me my blazer,
No,
okay?
and it
uh,
It's
didn't
not going to give me
necessarily
a
say that it
house.
was going to magically happen neither. There was someone that said it may take 30 days, it may take a year, I get that. I get that from the
And I get
aspect of
that
the thing.
too, but it's still, even though it's saying it's not going to magically happen overnight, it's still making you think it's going to happen if you just think all positive all the time. You know,
well, it does say that it sometimes requires action. Mm, but yeah,
I really don't want to speak ill of Kroll, but the way he was going about and presenting this movie was that it was pure and all pure fact. And every time that an opinion differed from his, he would bat it down with his opinions. Do you get what I'm saying?
yeah, I think there are some positive things about it, but I guess I have to go with Philippe. That was something he messaged before we even went on about that it's not for everybody, and that some people might get the wrong idea from it.
uh, yes. Okay, when
Do we
you
do we believe that the secret was known about by all these different people over history?
who
Well, I think that maybe all these different people over history might have had an idea that if uh, okay, well, let's take Einstein for example. Okay, I think in a way he might have, because he was an inventor, and he had to think positive about what he was doing, and that this was going to work, and that this was going to work. If I try this, this is going to work. This is going to work. If he did not think positive about his inventions, he would have given up, and we wouldn't have things that we have today.
I do believe that people have used aspects of the laws of attraction, but I do not think that it is entirely possible to keep all negativity to a ground standing stop in your mind. There's always going to be negativity.
uh, during this discussion, I actually went to Google about what Einstein supposedly really said about the law of attraction, and I found a Reddit thread where someone said that there is actually no evidence of Einstein saying what they imply in the movie. Like, he did say some things about the universe. I forgot what exactly, but not quite what they were implying in the movie, or at least that's what they said in that Reddit thread I found.
If you do your research, like I have, you will probably find that many of these people that they bring up different quotations. It's just like people who take and uh, use things out of context. they take certain sayings, certain things that people might have said, and then use it to their own advantage point. I'm not saying that The Secret is total bullshit. I believe it works for a lot of people. I'm very positive that there are a lot of people that have gained a lot of positivity using the so-called secret. The thing
Yes,
is, I think it's a half truth.
I
And
think.
I do believe in the example that they had in there. Like, you wake up and you stub your toe, and you get all upset and mad about it, and then their next step, this goes wrong and that goes wrong, and then like your whole day goes wrong. I can see that happening. Where if you start out with a negative, bad day from the start of your day, I can see the rest of your day going negative. I can see that happening.
Oh yes, yes, but that's like I said, plain human psychology. It doesn't require all this
But
law of attraction talk to explain it.
I don't think it's right to take The Secret as knowledge and then bully it to anyone who doesn't have the proper opinion about it.
Oh, yeah, I got the impression, like I said, that okay, like I said, maybe I like to do psychological analysis, and sometimes maybe I get things wrong. But in Kroll's case, I got the impression that on the conscious, rational level, he does believe this all to be true, but maybe somewhere deep down he still has doubts that he is somewhat afraid of, and then when someone presents him a different opinion, he react so intensely because of that fear of his beliefs or something he sees as something very good and positive. I think he is afraid of those beliefs being crushed
I
for
think he's
him.
afraid of the beliefs being able to cause the murder of children, and that is what I was trying to say. Let's say those parents who killed their kids because they didn't take them to the doctor because they totally believed that prayer would be the answer. Okay, let's say those people actually watched The Secret and followed it to the fullest extent of what they entirely describe in the film. You know,
Uh, well, yeah, it is kind of similar. Although, okay, this movie does not actually say you shouldn't take a sick person to a hospital, but yeah, I can see some
if
people
you think
taking that message from
positive,
it.
if you think positive and only and no negative thoughts, then you can fully, totally believe that person will probably believe that they're not sick and then and then end up dying in the process.
Well, they're saying that if you that your body. The one guy kept saying about how your body heals itself. Your body does this. Your body does that. Your body does that. Okay, you know. So if I think totally positive about my leg, it's gonna feel better. Come on, it's gonna heal itself. It feel better.
The Now I know that there are miracles that do happen. There are miracles that do happen, and the one pastor that was in there, he said he's seen people who've had cancer. All of a sudden, the cancer will go away because of them following The Secret and being more positive about yourself and all that jazz. And healing their soul in the process while doing that. Now, I do believe that there are those instances of miracles that do happen, but they're rare. You know, they are rare.
Oh
A lot of
yeah.
people end up dying from cancer. So to me, I get why people would like this to work for them, and it has supposedly worked for a lot of people. Oprah believed in it. Oprah Winfrey, she was a huge, um, huge supporter of the idea and the belief. In fact, she invited the author to her show, and people who have read the book and experienced success doing that. And I think David Letterman actually had the author on his show as well. But there was something that I did want to say about the author. Evidently, there was something going on where the producer and the director were not receiving royalties or payment, in fact, for
Who?
film. And I do know that there were 55 people who were originally interviewed for this particular documentary subject. And 24 of those were actually used. In fact, there used to be 25. In fact, Esther Hicks evidently was one of those. And evidently, she decided that she didn't want anything to do with the project like a year after that. So they completely edited her out of the original edit of the film. And
Wait, but what? I think she did appear in the movie, as far as I saw. Esther
from what
Hicks,
I
you said.
understand, she was supposedly the leading authority on the laws of attraction. So I believe that the whole person that the director was sort of using to help get the documentary off the ground, the leading authority of it didn't want anything to do with the project. Okay, so they narrated a couple of people in where she was speaking and cut the rest of it out. And this is facts. I am telling only truth.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, did I interrupt you?
No, did you want to say something?
Yes, I did. I wanted to say if this whole story really is true, then Rhonda Byrne and the director and the producer of the movie, they all should be like masters of the law of attraction, like the most skillful users of it, right? Yet, how did they all, to put it that way, attract these legal issues into their lives then?
There is a reviewer from Chicago that has referred to this as the unsolved mysteries of infomercials.
Yes, what mystery?
The unsolved. Haven't you ever heard of the TV show, The Unsolved Mysteries?
Uh, uh, I'm not sure actually.
Well, let's see. Let's go and look. Okay, so the legal controversies. So Nine Network was the original one of the producers for Nine Network. Kind of co-funded The Secret. They originally, in May 2007, carried a segment titled "The Secret Stoush." Australian author Vanessa J. Bennett is interviewed, and Bonnet, when referring to the book version of The Secret, asserts that this is my work and Rhonda Byrne has stolen it.
What?
Yep, Bonnet and a reporter compare her book to Burns on the use of the TV transmission analogy. Bonnet's book, Empowered for the New Era, was released in 2007 as a second edition. Bonnet on her website claims 100 instances of plagiarism. And then Burns' marketing company, TS Production LLC, then responded with a lawsuit to restrain Bonnet from the statement of claim. Analogy between frequency transmissions, including a television station transmission via a frequency, and human thought is used by many persons in the field of self-help and motivation. David Shermer, the investment guru and only Australian in the film, has his business activities under investigation by the Australian Securities Investment Commission, ASIC. This was reported on June 2007 by a current affair in a segment titled The Secret Con, with those words and the secret logo appearing in the background behind the newscaster. The show initially confronted Shermer in a segment titled The Secret Exposed, aired on 28th of May 2007, with complaints from people who say Shermer owed them money. On the 12th of February 2008, Bob Proctor's company, Life Success Productions, LLC, successfully sued Shermer, his wife Lorna, and their several companies, including Life Success Pacific Rim Pty Ltd, Shermer Financial Management Pty Ltd, Life Success Productions Pty Ltd, Excellence in Marketing Pty Ltd, and Wealth by Choice Pty Ltc for misleading or deceptive conduct. Apparently, in 2008, that's when the director Heriot and the internet consultant Dan Hollings were in a legal dispute with Byrne over pay from the project of The Secret. And the footage featuring Esther Hicks was removed from the extended edition of The Secret after Burns rescinded the original contract covering Hicks' participation.
Who?
Did anyone
Wow.
have anything to add on that? What do you think about all that, Tammy?
Well, it brings up a lot of controversy about it. It's like I
Who?
said, and like everybody. Well, this is not something that is for everybody. It is. I don't think it's something that you should totally believe in. I don't think it's something that you should totally um
Believe as truth.
as truth, or totally put your life around completely. I think it's a way to maybe help make your life a little bit better if you um
If you think more positively about your life and your life goals and all that jazz, that I can get
right,
behind.
and and like be thankful for the things that you do have, and yes, to have a goal for things that you want and everything, and sure, think about them and think that I really would like to get them, and get this or get that, but to to think to believe that if you just are all this positive all the time and all the time, that this is going to happen or that's going to happen, or you're going to um the biggest thing that I have a hard time with is the whole thing about him, that one guy is saying about your your body. Yes, your body can heal certain things and everything, but it can't heal everything, no matter how positive you are. And yes, there have been some miracles, okay, but there's plenty of people out there that have tried and tried and tried to think positive and tried to do this and do that and everything, and they did not get any better. And they were positive people to begin with, and good people, and so
I believe
Indeed.
the people that were left inside the documentary, I believe that those people seem like they are good people, or seem like they are honest people. Okay, don't you think that they looked like honest people?
They do look that way, yeah. Although at one point I was reading about someone tried to contact that guy Joe Vital who was speaking in the movie, and this was many years ago when I read that, so I don't remember exactly what it was, but this guy was I think he was asking some questions to Joe Vital and challenging him to explain some things in terms of this whole law of attraction story. And Joe Vital was giving him some vague answers, and eventually, when he no longer knew what to say, like when he ran out of counter arguments, he just stopped responding or something like that.
Do either one of you think that I was twisting this to my viewpoint?
Uh, Twisting, well, no, okay, when you said, when you compared it to people not taking children to a hospital when the children are sick, that maybe sounded a little bit extreme, but then again,
Not really.
it,
If you put it in the mindset that these people follow the secret.
yeah, I can. Unfortunately, I can see that even though the movie it may not say that directly, as Crow said, the movie doesn't say don't take people to a hospital when they are sick, but yeah, some people can take that wrong message from
On
it.
the concept that you only think positive and don't think negative, uh, if someone is being told that they are sick and they put it to the back of their mind and then they die, you know, that's what I'm thinking about. Those totally gullible people who will believe everything that they read or see, and there are people who do that blindly. There are people who will watch things like The Secret, and then just like in like World War II, where they had psycho films that would be able to turn people against each other, you know, um, LSD or things of that nature, you know. Um, I just can't fully get behind it. And I am a very positive person for the most part. I try to be. So the
Oh,
fact that girl was telling me I'm a very negative person, that's not the case. If I
oh,
were if I were a negative person, I wouldn't have been able to you know, run these podcasts.
well, yeah, that's a good point.
I wouldn't have been able to connect with you, Boris, if I were a totally negative person.
Thanks.
I mean,
Oh,
do you think that I'm a totally negative person?
well, no, there have been some cases some situations where I disagreed with you, but to say that that makes you a completely negative person would be a big exaggeration.
If I think someone is wrong, I will tell them that that they were wrong, and um, if I have a different opinion, I will not like bully you to death and make you feel so little that your opinion didn't matter. You know, And that's how Kroll was today. He fully believed the documentary and the message that it was portraying. He believes it to be truth. Believes it
Well,
so much that he will argue anyone with a negative opinion about it to death because he fully believes it, and he has a right to. He has a right to believe what he wants to believe, but he does not have a right to badger it over our heads and make it our truth just because he believes it. And that's what he was trying to do. And
well,
the thing he forgets is this is my show. I will talk about what I want on my show. And
well, as I
if you have a difference of opinion, fine. You can have a difference of opinion. You can be an asshole about it.
well, yeah, but I think
Just be
there
open to
shouldn't.
talk about it. And if something comes up,
Yeah, I just
Earl
think
wasn't listening. He was so busy talking, he wasn't listening.
Well, yeah, I just think the whole discussion and presenting of differing arguments could have been done peacefully. I think he shouldn't have gotten so upset about it.
Well, he left the group, and
Oh, why?
I'm not sure I want him back after that.
Oh, why? Oh, okay, okay. I didn't expect this to happen.
No, nor did I. I'm not
I
going to
mean,
invite him back with his negativity about badgering us over the head with his. I know why he brought it, because he fully believes in it, and every film should be talked about in a healthy way, and that's what
oh,
I'm trying to. Am I
yeah.
am I wrong with talking about Crow like this on the show, though?
Well, I don't think it's that wrong because the part where this issue happened, it was all in public. It was a part of this stream, so it's logical that we are right now affected by it and discussing the aftermath of it. I didn't I didn't want this to happen. I don't hate Crow because of this
I
or
don't hate him
anything.
either, but you need to be able to host this calmly and peacefully in order to run a discussion. Don't you agree,
I just think
Tammy?
that he wasn't prepared for everybody to have their own opinion on this, and that's what. And you know what?
And you
That's what this whole.
can't
That's what this.
bully
Not just,
someone else.
but not just this documentary that we're doing today. Okay, but that's what this whole thing is for. Every week, we each give our own thoughts, and we each give our own opinions and our own interpretation of the film.
Yes.
And this week is no different. Just because it's a documentary, it's that is what we do every week.
Yes.
And do
And
you
then
think that Kroll understood that?
okay, you're probably not gonna totally like me on this, David, but okay, I don't think he totally was prepared for the opinions, but I think maybe bringing the children thing into it was maybe a little extreme.
I don't think
Okay,
so, because
I do.
if the secret was it was taught to someone who, and then they followed that positivity aspect of it, what's to say it wouldn't lead them to commit murder like that?
It is but it is an extreme.
Well,
Okay,
Yeah, I guess what Elvi is trying to say is that it can
But
happen,
we
but
should be
it's
able to talk about the extreme on this channel.
I guess, but you know what?
Hello, Baron.
I guess what I'm saying is maybe when you when you realized you hit a sour note there on that, maybe we should have just moved on from that particular extremity. Okay.
maybe. uh,
So
I mean, the message that I got from the secret was the fact that you, you can't think about negativity at all, and that the world and the universe is your catalog, and everyone say hi to Baron from England.
Hi, Baron. Nice to meet you. I assume we haven't talked before, so yeah, nice to meet you.
hello.
Thanks for listening in on our show.
Yeah. One issue I had with what they were saying, there was this one part where someone said something like, "Don't talk about your problems, just ignore them." That's the way I took it. It was like discouraging people from seeking therapy if they did it, because in therapy you exactly have to talk about your problems in order to resolve them. Ignoring them and not talking about them is just sweeping them under the rug, and that usually brings more harm than good.
Well, even in that part that they were talking about relationships, and they were showing like basically an abusive relationship. I am sorry, no matter how positive you you are and how positive you try to be to a person that is being like physically abusive and nasty to you,
Or verbally abusive.
you really think if you just are totally positive to them that they're gonna stop?
Well, not likely.
Right. Not likely.
Oh, I agree with you, Baron. He said hi to all, and he said thanks, and he said it's all out there. You just need to get it, and that I fully can get behind. That's not why I'm somewhat against the secret. Um, the whole concept to me, um, like I said before, is that they think, or at least the idea of the secret is that you attract everything, whether it's negative or positive. And if you don't think about the negative at all, not even if you make a mistake, trust in the law of attraction and be positive, meaning take a Stepford approach to it, and the world will be given to you. Not today, not tomorrow, but in the near future. And the thing is, Deepak Chopra at the time, he said that quantum physics is magic, and that was his idea, his whole concept that he wanted to get out there. Dr. Farnsworth, he was another one, a new age, a new age guru. He said that quantum physics means anything can happen to us for no reason.
Huh.
Basically, the secret to me uh, tells people to avoid problems by not even thinking about them. And if you have a problem, you brought it on yourself by thinking about it.
It kind of says that, yeah. Or Or at least that you attracted that problem into your life by focusing on problems you had at the time in the past.
He said, "Yep, I've been to the top and bottom of life many times, and just be careful what you want." I agree. Like I, I know that this documentary, it you gotta basically reshape your mind, rethink how you think. Okay, I get that, but then once it happens, you know, I mean, if you think positive thoughts all the time, do I fully think that positivity will follow? I don't fully entirely can get behind that, but I do believe that I do believe that being positive more about things might be able to help you in spirit.
Yeah, that much is true.
All
Like,
right, so I am sorry about the arguing that happened earlier in this discussion. One of us could not handle an open discussion about this film properly, and that's not what I want to protrude to the audience. You, as the audience, have a right to think and believe what you want. I'm going to have my own opinions. Boris is going to have his own opinions. Tammy, you're going to have your own opinions, and not all of us are going to get along all the time. We each grew up differently. We each probably have a different thought process, but we all get along to a certain extent, right?
well,
I think
true.
so, and I think too that a lot of the people listening, don't realize that there's quite a there's a difference in all of our ages too, which which in a way I think um helps our discussion because you know because of how old I am and how I was brought up might be a way I think my way, and how and the same thing with somebody, you know, somebody younger than me is going to think a different way, and how they were brought up makes them think this way. You know, we're not all from the same backgrounds, not all the same ages, and you know,
Uh,
that gives
not,
us, I think that
not,
helps in our opinions because we're not all.
yeah. Also, not the same geographic location and the same culture and all that.
Right, and I think that's what makes our group the makes our group a great group because we are all so different.
And I believe that I went to the extreme because I do not think that you should go into this documentary with blind ears. If you get my drift,
Yeah.
I mean, you can come out of this documentary believing in the entire concept entirely, and you can quote it like some people quote the Bible, and you can go and preach it for all I care. I unfortunately will not. I see through the cracks, see through the bullshit, and I get the message that they're trying to portray. Be more positive about yourself, and positivity might come to you. Okay, that's what I get from it, and
Yes.
to me, that's actually a positive thought. I don't know if
Oh,
you see any negativity in that. In that, I got something out of it. I'm not gonna get the whole concept that the secret is the truth, and that it's been here for ages, and all because of a director and an author decided to pick certain quotes from certain people and smack it together and call it historical truth of people who understand the secret seekers.
Uh, well, yeah, uh, I understand. Yeah.
And I'm not entirely negative about this documentary either. I believe that the people that were there spoke the truth from their perspective.
Quite possibly, yeah. There really are some good aspects of this movie, but I do not think it should be taken literally word by word.
No, and I think that's what Kroll came into this believing. He didn't expect the negativity. He expected us to have fully believe it, be doctrinized. Um, there is someone that I read in the what is it, the reception of this. Okay, Jerry Adler of Newsweek called it breathless pizzazz for a tired self-help genre, emphatically cinematic and driven by images and emotion rather than logic. A blend of Tony Robbins and the Da Vinci Code and the unsolved mysteries of infomercials. To me, I felt like this was myself. I felt like this was like really long, one really long infomercial without the dollar signs telling you to donate this money just because you believe. Okay. Um, uh, the secret was reportedly being discussed in emails, chat rooms, and around office cubicles and on blind dates. See, some critics were bothered by the film's focus on questionable wealth enhancement, including promises that the universe will give you material goods like having the universe as your catalog.
uh, yeah, and it somewhat it fails to take possible ethical issues into consideration. Like it says, if something feels good, just do it. And what if someone feels good when they are hurting other people? Should they just do it only because it feels good?
Well, even the idiots give and take. The secret is all is you already have everything. And you know what? As long as you have a roof on your head, you have friends that you enjoy speaking to, and you live comfortably. I think that's the secret to life. As long as you feel happy inside, the way you are presently in the moment. Do all of you feel happy at this moment?
Oh, well, no, I do not entirely feel happy at this moment. There are
You
various
know
things.
to make yourself happy, or
Well, I know some things I can do to hopefully resolve my issues, and I am trying to work towards that goal. But is everything really going to work out the way I expect? I am not sure, and that's something I, to be honest, have some anxiety about.
well, I know that within businesses, the use of the DVD for employee training and morale building. There was an author by the name of Barbara Ehrenreich who called it The Secret a gimmick and disturbing, like being indoctrinated into a cult.
Wow.
According to March 2007 issue of Skeptical Inquirer, the central idea of the film has no basis in scientific reality, despite invoking scientific concepts.
Uh, well, yeah, actually, one thing I wanted to say, but I was getting interrupted at the time was the essential message behind this movie is, as we have already said, if you think positive, if you generally feel positive about life, then you are likelier to succeed than if you are negative. And there is some truth to that, but that's like I said, plain human psychology, and it's nothing new. And
There is no love without hate. There is no wrong without right. There is no right without wrong. There is no short without long. There is no bottom without a top. There, I mean, there is no in between. To me, there is
oh
no
yeah, yeah, that
there is no
too.
baby.
But what I wanted to say, this thing about what happens to you if you are positive and what happens to you if you are negative, that's something most people already know. It's nothing new. With this movie they wanted to present the concept as something new, so in order to do that they included all this scientific talk about the universe, quantum physics, this and that, to make it sound fancy and
They make it
revolutionary.
sound
And
fancy that it was something that was known about since the dawn of time,
yeah.
and that can't entirely be proven. They didn't tell us how. They just expected us to trust that the facts are reality and that they are speaking the truth. And if you believe, I mean, even I can watch Back to the Future and uh, realize what his father is saying. You know, Marty, if you can put your mind to it, you can do anything. You know, um,
Well, that's often
and that's
true,
not
but
from the
it's
secret.
yeah, I know.
But at
Uh,
the end of the day, um, I guess what did we think about the production of the film? Do we think that it was put together rather decently?
Well, actually, yes, it did have quite some nice imagery. It was aesthetically pleasant to look at. It had these nice effects and so on. That much I cannot deny. Which which all adds a lot to making it so believable and getting so many people to see it as something great and revolutionary and believable.
Okay, is that pretty much it that you thought of production?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, what about you, Tammy? What did you think about the production aspect of this documentary?
I think it'll put a lot of nice thoughts and ideas out there. And, um,
Do you believe that the secret was something that was written about and talked about since the dawn of time?
Not totally. I believe that maybe since the dawn of time, people have tried to go along with the thing of thinking positive and going for your goals. That way. I think those things might have existed. Okay, but not to this extreme.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the whole law of attraction concept, it doesn't really originate from The Secret. It was talked about before. Even Kroll has spoken to us about it even before he watched The Secret. So he had already known the concept from other sources. So
Well,
that much
the
is
whole
true.
reason why Kroll brought this to the discussion is because his sponsor is teaching him how to be scammy. his sponsor sponsors the author,
Wait,
and that is why he brought it to us.
wait.
I did want to.
Kroll is actually involved with someone who is involved with Rhonda Byrne.
Yeah, I believe that's what he said last time when he put it forward.
Okay, that's surprising. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, but he told us that last week when he put it forward. So.
Oh, okay, then maybe I just forgot he mentioned it.
I had a feeling that he was brainwashed by this. I just didn't know the extent of the brainwashing.
Oh.
Do you think that Kroll was brainwashed by this documentary?
Well, I
Tammy?
wouldn't. Oh, sorry.
I don't want to give an opinion.
Okay.
Well, I wouldn't like to use such a harsh word for someone I still consider a friend, but I do think, like I said before, that on the conscious level he believes it and he wants to believe it because to him it looks like something great, so he wants to believe it. And then when someone is challenging those views, I think he gets emotional because on some maybe not entirely conscious level, he is maybe afraid of his beliefs getting crushed. Because
Yeah.
I read once about psychology that there are different levels of belief. Like, for example, when someone was brought up in a religious family and they grew up believing in God since they were old enough to think, but then over time they turned to atheism when they learn more about how the world really is, and when they have their experiences, or when they read the Bible and realize it's not entirely the way their religious leaders were presenting it, then they maybe become atheists on the conscious level. But since they were brought up believing in God since their earliest childhood, on some subconscious level, they will maybe still believe in Him. So I think that's kind of similar to this. There are different layers of belief, and I think on the conscious level, Kroll believes this to be true. And well, to some extent, there is some truth to positivity being helpful in life and all that. As we have already said, I'm not denying that. But yeah,
Well,
I think he gets
this
so
is
emotional.
what the concept of Buddhism believe. They believe that human life is a cycle of suffering and rebirth, but that if one achieves a state of enlightenment, it is impossible. It is possible to escape this cycle forever. That is the extent of the Buddhist belief.
Whew.
Well, guys,
Also,
I hate to cut in, but I need to get going soon. So,
but did anyone notice the music at all?
not really.
Not much. There was some track in the ending credits. There were some suspenseful instrumental backgrounds throughout the movie to make it more dramatic. Uh, but yeah, not that much really.
Okay, let's see. Looking for the music. It doesn't even have a music a section in here. Whether there was any music. Oh, music department. Just says Les Hemstock as the composer. He did additional music, I guess. And I guess he has always done additional music for some other stuff and hasn't done anything since 2016. So, okay. Favorite scenes or moments and our favorite.
I don't think that really applies to this. It's a documentary.
Well, favorite moment from the film. And favorite motivational speaker that was interviewed. Maybe.
I really didn't have a favorite of anything.
You didn't really have a favorite of anything? Why is that?
This is a documentary. There wasn't anything.
Does that mean that this is fact or fiction?
I believe it was a little bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think my favorite moment would be the part talking about emotional guidance, where it says that if what we are doing, if the way we are going about working towards our goal, if it doesn't really feel good, if we are not really enjoying it, if it isn't really bringing us the enthusiasm we need, then we are probably doing something wrong. That's something I actually agree with, and that's something I kind of failed to see the true importance of when I watched this movie before. So I would say that's my favorite part. But favorite speaker, that's difficult to choose because they were all getting. They were all taking turns in talking, and their speeches were mixed together, and it was kind of difficult to pick up on who is saying what. So figuring that out would take a bit more of analysis than I actually did on this movie. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm actually not sure on this one because I think it was a little bit of fact and fiction. I think the motivational speaker that I liked the most on this documentary, which calling it a documentary means that it was based on nonfiction, and possibly some fact. As far as the person that I liked listening to the most was that preacher. I'm trying to figure out who. Although one aspect of this documentary that I liked was the Aladdin story. How, if you look back at the original story of Aladdin, the wishes were unlimited.
Oh.
Whereas later on, they became wishes of 3.
Oh, I see.
So, other than that, hopefully you enjoyed our discussion on this film. I'm sorry that our host left the group and left angrily and just didn't have the I don't know how to explain it, the proper way to navigate a discussion. In any case, hopefully you enjoyed our discussion. Let us know down in the comments whether you thought we were wrong about this documentary. I just couldn't fully get behind the concept. It's not that I'm being entirely negative. I said a lot of positive things about it. And hopefully you can design exactly what you want from The Secret and use it and apply it to your life the way you feel you see fit. And we'll see you next time here on Delusions of Grandeur. Everyone say good night.
Good
Good
night.
night, everyone.